Hey, listeners, before we get into today's podcast, I just want to give a shout out to today's sponsor. And today's sponsor is Tiny & Sons Glass. Does your vehicle have cameras or driver's assist? If so, when your windshield is replaced, it will need to be recalibrated. What is recalibration? When your vehicle's windshield is replaced, the safety systems need to then be tested to ensure that they work with your new windshield. Some vehicles require static recalibration, and others require a dynamic recalibration. Not sure who to trust to take care of this recalibration for you? Well, just call Tiny & Sons Glass in Pembroke, Mass. They are experts in auto glass and registered company of the Auto Glass Safety Council. Plus, they make it easy. They will call your insurance company for you. Get your windshield replaced by their highly trained auto glass technicians and get your vehicle recalibrated so you can be back on the road. Tiny & Sons Glass, keeping you and your family safe. I'm sorry, Jim and Lou. Okay, I'll screw that up. Trust me.
It's all right.
Are we ready? Okay. Welcome back to the Bar Talk Podcast. I am Andy of Inebriart, and I am joined by my good friend, Carl Heine.
Yeah, don't throw the F-bomb out. So we're in the podcast.
Sorry. And Jordan Chabot, fresh back from Florida.
Yo.
And then we are recording today at the Hilltop Athletic Association, and we are joined by Mel and Jim. Lou and Jim. Told you guys I was going to screw it.
Wow.
Where did I get Mel?
You couldn't even get one of them.
You need another drink.
Well, he messes up the names when they're right in front of him.
Oh, yeah.
Mailbag,
it's kind of like a thing. Yeah. So, sorry. Lou and Jim. Welcome to the show, guys.
Hey, thanks for having us.
So, for those people who are unfamiliar and may not have them, I don't even know if they're everywhere.
Different states got different
Yeah.
liquor law rules. So
what is an athletic association in a nutshell?
So what we are, we're a membership-based club, which are actually all over the country. So obviously that means to be a member here, you have to join. There's an interview process. You get voted in by the floor. Once you're a member, you have full rights to the whole club. We do a lot of cooking here for people most days. We have we are athletic club, and there are athletes here.
For those who couldn't tell, he did air quotes around it.
For instance, Lou's an athlete, played professional baseball for the New York Yankees.
Wow.
He's our main athlete.
Wrong team.
But he swore allegiance to the Red Sox.
That's right.
So,
Okay. After the Yankees stopped paying him, he swore allegiance to the Red Sox.
Who did you play with?
I was an outfielder.
Oh, no
I played with Fred McGriff was my roommate
Wow.
at one time.
All right, now I'm starstruck.
The crime dog?
I just became way
Big Whip
uninteresting
McGriff,
in this
dude.
podcast. So our athletics are pool, as you can see, darts. For our younger members, we have horseshoe pits out there and bocce ball. But I don't think I've ever seen anyone play bocce ball.
No, they play it when they're out there. Some of them ask for it all the time.
And
They
then
don't know how to play it, but they play it.
we have upstairs banquet hall we rent. We have an outside pavilion, fully covered, full bar, bathrooms. We rent that. And that's our inside goal. Our outside goal is to be a part of the community. We do a lot of charity work. We donate money to local rec organizations, to the booster clubs and high school sports. We give away thousands of dollars a year in college scholarships. Not so much last year, like everyone else, but
Sure, yeah.
in a typical year, we donate our facility a lot for fundraisers. They do a big run here every year, big bike run here every year, road race as well.
Well, how did last year affect you guys? I mean, did this fall under the same restrictions that like Jordan and Carl had to like put up with, or because it's a members only club, or I don't want to say did you do whatever you wanted, but you know what I'm saying?
No.
Is it a different?
No, we have a
set?
little advantage over most local clubs, and you can jump in anytime, Lou. But we have two functioning kitchens, so we sort of called ourselves a restaurant.
Yeah.
And the Board of Health was okay with that. So, but we were required to cook every day. And luckily, our manager here is a fantastic cook. And so
He makes pizzas.
Oh, he makes everything. He's like I said, a full functioning catering license here.
Don't say it too loud. Carl's gonna steal him for New World.
So you get enough shifts here?
But no, we had to close down like everybody else, and we had to adhere to the same CDC rules and Board of Health rules. We were lucky to move outside,
Yeah.
so we had plenty of room. We limited our hours, and there was plenty of space out there, open air. And then we moved upstairs when it got cold, and we've literally been back here a week.
Oh, because you got the function hall, so that you can use that.
and that's much bigger,
Oh,
so
yeah,
we could
yeah.
space out more. And we got visited a couple times. Luckily, we never had any issues. But no, we were under the same rules as everybody else.
And so, Lou, how long have you been tending bar in general and tending bar here? Because
In general, like 41 years. It started in Florida in the off season. I needed a job. They didn't pay me enough, so
Yeah.
I had to do something else. So I ended up doing bartending, room service for a hotel, the Holiday Inn in Tampa. And then from there, I went to Brockton. That's where I'm originally from. And we went to a place called the Casimir, which was probably the most popular bar in Brockton at the time. You had to wear hockey equipment to go in there because before the end of the night there was surely a bunch of fights. It was kind of a rugged place to be a member or be patron of. So, and then I came here. I think I joined here in 2000, and I've been bartending here about between 13 and 15 years. I don't know the exact date, but
that's a
so-
crazy long time to be tending bar. I
Yeah,
can't-
seriously.
Yeah, it's getting like I'm getting a little short-tempered here.
I can't.
I mean, that's one of the questions is what's the difference between bartending here and bartending out, I'll call it the real world.
Yeah. So I have done both, as you know, Kyle, because I used to work at another restaurant as well. There's no food here. That makes me really happy because I hate shagging food.
There was
and-
food during COVID.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there was. Yeah, there was plenty of food then. And then I just think the food aspect of it really made it my job a lot harder than I wanted to be at this time. And this is just basically beers and shots, lots of them. Good guys, fun guys, but like I said, this could be almost a women's club at some times.
Well, you got that ability too. The difference between like a regular restaurant or a bar, you guys are screening everybody. Like they have to go through the screening
Correct.
process, and they have to be voted on to join. So you're not serving people essentially you don't want in the club.
Right.
You're serving people that you guys have allowed to be in the club. So that's
Right.
got to be helpful. And you can punish them like they're kids too.
Yeah.
You can be like, you be a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Well, that's a question
You
too.
can't come in for a month.
If I'm a member of the club and I come in, does that mean that I have full disclosure of what goes on in the club and when it goes on in the club?
Yep.
Or you can't shut me off. I'm a member.
We're all
Right.
individual
What's-
owners
what's-
here.
No,
Yeah.
so the way the club is set up, and all these clubs are set up, it's all volunteer. No one gets paid. Like Lou gets paid, and the manager gets paid, and that's it. So there's a board of governors, there's a vice president, president, and we sort of act for the club. Some things we don't need permission to do, some we do. And for disciplinary actions, like anything, we do get to punish them like little kids sometimes.
Yeah,
and
you gotta.
and sometimes this is like watching a episode of Housewives of Orange County with some of the attitudes we have down here. So, unfortunately, sometimes, but not very often. I can honestly say in my 12, 13 years, not very often does that happen.
But
I'm a member of the Cold Springs Club. It's the same exact thing. Cold
Right.
Springs Club's over in Plymouth. And I don't go often because I don't live in Plymouth anymore. But I've seen a couple times where they've had to like put a guy on a quote unquote barred list, a member for acting up. You know what I mean? Some of these guys will live in the club. They don't want to be anywhere near their wives, or some of the older guys are on their own.
Some of them
so-
are not married. I mean,
Yeah,
some of them
right.
just come here because it's a place to hang out and see other people. Where
Right.
they don't want to go out to maybe a regular restaurant and spend 8 hours there.
No, you just want a couple beers and hang out with a bunch of people you know.
The prices are right, too.
Yeah, that too.
It makes
Yeah.
them comfortable money-wise. If your wallet doesn't fit the place, then...
We should definitely touch
know?
on that because that is something I think that is unique to the clubs is the price of what you
Correct.
sell your booze for.
so is it because they're not trying to turn a profit? Like how?
Right.
Like is that
We
just?
basically try to break even.
Yeah.
I don't want to make a profit.
No,
Yeah.
we really don't. So beer's at $2.25 as opposed at another restaurant might be $4.50. You
Right.
know.
Carl, why do you charge me $8 a beer?
Because it's you.
Fair answer.
Because by the time I give you the bill, you're half in the bag.
No, that's another reason why the bar list
After
is
you
a
had
little long.
3 drinks.
Yeah.
You go in there with it. You walk into a club like Hilltop, and you got a $20 in your pocket. You can get pretty messed up with $20 in your pocket.
Okay.
And not to mention that everyone always seems to buy a round for everybody. That's
Right,
kind of a cool
yeah.
culture. You walk in, there's 12 guys sitting there, like, all right, get
Well, 'cause
everybody,
it costs you
chip
$10.
everybody up. Exactly, chip everybody up. But then all of a sudden, now you got 12 people that are each doing the same thing.
Well, Lou, does that hurt you as a bartender if you have such cheap drinks? Do you get cheap
Well,
tips?
I will say no. They're very generous down here. I do pretty well down here, and I compare it to the other places I've worked, and it's right there. It's not, say it's $2.25. They don't leave me 75 cents. They always leave me $1 plus the 75.
Right.
So I'm really getting almost 80% of their tab. So. I mean, 33% is considered probably a really good tip. 30%, right? And
And $1.75 on a $2.25
on a
beer.
$2.25
Right.
beer,
That's
Right.
almost like 100% tip.
Right.
pretty good. So.
That's awesome.
And,
what's
and they
the
drink
biggest-
like it's on fire here. It's the place. So.
What's the biggest draw for people to become a member, and what's the biggest detriment for you as a bartender because they're members?
Well,
Like, why would I want to be a member?
we don't do Corey checks here. We might want to start doing that.
Well, I think the draw to be a member here is kind of Jordan just touched on it. It's a great place to get away for an hour,
Yeah.
or 2 or 3, or
8.
if it's Saturday night. Lou sees me
Right.
come in, he usually goes, "Oh crap!"
One more.
That is my
one
favorite
more.
drink.
He
One more.
never leaves.
No, you come in, you can, play the completely legal games you see behind you, which the state knows we have. We have golden tea over there, too, brand new golden tea.
Very nice.
But it's a place to come down, hang out. We have a wide range of people here, from blue collar to white collar. We have first responders, we have restaurant owners, we have business owners.
Judges.
We have judges down here, and it's also a great networking thing if you're a tradesman. You need a plumber. There's usually 3 sitting here. Like, I'll do that Saturday and it's usually a little cheaper, or electrician, and so a lot of guys will join for that too. That's probably the least reason to join, but and then a lot of guys they have kids, and a lot of our members are heavily involved with the KYSO program, so they coach. And so we give them the rights to the club. For big tournaments, they can use the pavilion absolutely free. Obviously, we don't.
KYSO, Kingston Youth
Sports
Yeah.
Organization. Sorry. And then there's a bunch of them just like that. So a lot of guys, our crowd's getting younger and younger because me and Lou are getting older and older. And our kids, he doesn't have kids.
Well, there's not many people older than you guys to join.
Yeah.
Says Carl.
Kyle's not a member and will never be a member. He wouldn't make it past the
Well, yeah,
board
you
in
gotta
every
vote
process.
to be-
Yeah.
Well, there's an interview process. There's
Yeah.
sheeps, goats.
So,
Well, no, the goats, we got in trouble for that, so they're gone. But, no, you do an interview, and then you're actually a junior member for the first year here, which you have all the same rights. You just can't bring anyone in.
that was going to be my next question.
Yeah,
Like,
and that gives
if I
us.
get to be a member
yeah,
and I
yeah.
decide to bring Carl with me, is that...
There's a
okay?
picture of him on the door.
So I can bring Jordan.
You can bring Jordan, yeah. But no, we have a year to decide if the only thing we judge when someone comes in is their character. We just look for high character people that are going to fit in well.
So, what's the percentage of people you let into not letting in?
I can literally only recall 4 people that we didn't let in.
I was gonna say, I would love to.
Yeah.
Like, you have any? Without
how
without
bad
dropping
you have
any
to be?
names.
All right.
why?
So
I wanna
you
hear those.
you have to step outside when you get voted in
You
by.
can tell this story. This is my favorite story.
Is
guy-
is
the
it
guy
our
that-
buddy?
Yeah.
Jim,
So-
can you let Lou talk just a little bit?
He's eye candy. I'm here for the
He's
content.
eye candy.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
He went out the door, and you step up and you throw a white ball in if he's accepted and a black ball in if he's not. So he got blackballed. So
Does it have to be unanimous?
no, it's a percent of the black balls in that box. I forget what the percent is that makes you not eligible to be a member here.
Okay.
But he's outside, and the key is we always tell you take your hat and your jacket with you because you might not be invited back in.
Sure.
Well, he didn't, and he got blackballed. And he had to come in and get his hat and face the warden and all his little inmates, and so it was. But he came in smiling and walked out.
No, but then he needed a ride home.
Yeah,
that got better.
Oh,
He goes, Can someone give me a ride?
Yeah, because he doesn't have a driver's license. And I don't know why he wanted to be a member. He was going back to jail. But to be honest with you, the time he spent there, every 2 years you can come back and reapply. And he spent that long in there and came back, and he's a member now.
Lou, we don't have to be totally transparent.
Yeah.
So you were saying that your membership is getting younger, which I don't know. I kind of was surprised by that. I figure it would be harder to get people to join because I feel like the idea of a club that's
Say it. Go ahead. I know you
exclusionary.
want to say it.
Yeah, that's exclusionary would be on its way out.
No, well, I mean, they don't. We're getting the younger guys. When I say younger, I'm meeting people with like kids in youth sports.
Yeah,
but
okay.
we're also getting a whole new group of like my son's age, 21-year-olds, 22-year-olds. They just like to come down. They do like to play Golden Tee for a while. Pregame a little bit, and then they go out where there's women.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you think that? Well, I suppose if you're going to pregame, you come to the place that has 225 beers.
Exactly.
Pregame.
Instead of drinking
Yeah.
Fireball
Yeah.
Mix in the parking
Yeah.
lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
See, the problem when you're a member here is if you go out with your wife, you kind of like, I'll just have one.
So
I'm not paying that.
I'm gonna ask
That's why I
this
only go to
question.
New World.
Because my dad was a member to the Hanson Athletics Association, and so I kind of was always around these kind of clubs. What is the standing rule for when a wife calls?
you have to give her the phone. Give the phone. It was not a rule until the call was a long time ago, before Jim was even a member here. A wife called, and it was an emergency, and the husband goes, don't tell her I'm here. And they didn't hand her the phone, and she needed to talk to him. And that rule changed quickly, because
Yeah.
next time was, if someone's wife called, you hand them the phone, let them handle it, because that was a call that needed to be answered.
But how often does that happen now with
Well,
cell phones?
nowadays, I was just
it
thinking,
doesn't.
Yeah,
no,
right.
It doesn't.
back when my dad was coming to clubs, it
Yeah.
was like
Just in case my wife's listening, we don't have cell phone service down here.
I asked for the Wi-Fi.
Very
password. I was like,
shoddy.
man,
No, we have that, just no cell phones.
Yeah.
those are
No,
some of
there
my
is no
favorite
service.
places.
I can vouch for that. I have one bar right now.
Luciosus in Plymouth. Horrible service inside. Like you can go in and it's just peace and quiet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Well, that was a problem here because when we moved outside
'Cause the service
during
is so
COVID,
bad.
all of a sudden everyone was getting service. So all of a sudden cell phones were going off left and right.
Right.
We're like, don't mess up. Don't.
Screw something else.
That's another thing I always say to new members coming in. I go, "Are you married?" And they go, "Yeah." And I go, "You won't be long after this place."
But not all your members come, right? You could be a member here and show up once a year.
That's exactly
Yes,
what happens.
and that happens.
It's not like I
Yeah.
belong to a.
We have close to 400 members now. There's like 230 actually paying members, a bunch of new junior members, and then when you hit a certain age, it's free. You don't pay anymore.
Like lose age?
Yeah.
Is Lou there yet? Are you there yet? Lou?
My license is on a tablet.
Lou, to most of our listeners, that means an iPad.
Yeah, right. Yeah. See, that's where I'm at. I wasn't even thinking. I was thinking of a
Damn.
rock.
You know, I
You're
was.
so old, you're new again.
You know what's bad is I was going with the rock too. I knew
You leave your inspection sticker on for 7 years, and
Yeah.
the expired one eventually goes back to the same color.
Correct.
this whole Moses thing
Yeah.
came into my head with you holding your license on a tablet, but
Yeah.
I'm just thinking most people are
yeah.
listening on a tablet.
don't hit it with a hammer and chisel if you are. No, we have. So to your point, very very few members support us day to day. I'm going to guess maybe 30 to 40 guys are here on a daily basis. And then there are certain events. We have guys who love to do a for fun only card game on Saturdays. And, in this summer, we're doing a lot of events. We're actually exploring doing a concert series out in our pavilion this summer. We're going to have family nights out there. Ken's off to do a public night where you come in, buy a beer, buy a pizza. Just trying to utilize that pavilion because we think this year's going to be busy with a lot of canceled weddings and anniversaries and
Oh, that's a good
birthdays.
point.
And,
We saw it this past
Graduations,
weekend. Yeah,
everything.
we ran an event this past weekend, and it was unnerving how many people showed up.
Yeah, they've had enough. That's why.
Yeah.
They're
Mayflower.
ready.
Yeah.
I heard it was.
But the
very
pavilion
busy. It was
and
crazy.
upstairs, you
Yeah.
can rent to anybody. So it's not just
Any-
people that.
Oh, anybody
Yeah.
can come and
Club.
rent that, and that's what we try and do. We're doing some renovations right now. The next couple of weeks, we're doing the bathrooms, sprucing up the pavilion a bit. Anyone can come and rent it. And I really
Weddings,
should have
bar
had
mitzvahs,
the
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
really should have had the email address on us a little, but Hilltop. Functions.com, something like that. Sorry, sorry, Ken.
It'll pop up.
Weird
Sorry.
having more than one
Yeah,
call.
It'll pop up on your tablet.
Lou's like, smoke signal us at.
And I've heard stories about other clubs.
Yeah.
You see how I like that?
Yeah.
I said I like that? I'm a member, Joe Schmo, average member. I come in for a couple of drinks and I pay $5 for 2 drinks. Okay? Tip you, I walk out. I come back a month later, all of a sudden, my drinks are at $5.50. Do they care?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, we actually can't. Well, as the board can raise prices. I've been here since 7, and we've only raised prices twice in my time here. And we actually, unfortunately, we just did it right before COVID hit, not knowing COVID was going to hit. But again, we're still at $2.25 for a beer. Most mixed drinks at $3. But they do care because
Yeah.
we have older guys that are down here that are budget their life, and they know they come
fixed
down
income
to
and
Jordan's
stuff,
point. They can have $20 and spend an afternoon here.
And you can.
You can, and you can buy drinks for people, and that's when we get in trouble with our wives because I'll say I'm going down for 2, but I'll have 15.
Once you
Yeah.
buy one round,
You're gonna buy 2.
forget
You're not
it.
gonna drink
It
it.
comes at you left and right.
Yeah.
You walk out. Well, we call it a bunch of wood in your pocket because we have little chips. If you don't want the drink, you get a chip, and they're wooden. And
Oh, so you can buy someone a drink. That
Well, yeah,
That's what I
yeah,
said
yeah.
earlier, like,
Yeah.
chip
That's
up the
kind of
bar,
a- yeah.
chip up the
yeah, and you
bar.
can take it home with you and come back with it and use it the next day. So,
Oh, that's pretty
And they're usually very clean because they go through everyone's washing machine.
yeah, right.
They're very sanitized for COVID.
Do you get the people be like, I was given a chip yesterday, but I forgot it at home. Can I?
No, you gotta have it.
No, that doesn't
I
happen.
will not
You know what sucks about
gladly
the chip?
pay
It doesn't
you.
have it. They don't
do you
say
have,
it. Or?
do you have the members that get the chips but never buy the chips, if you know what I mean?
Oh, like they just got a bankroll at home, but they're never the
No,
chipper.
no,
They're always
right.
the chippy.
So yeah.
And
Yeah.
you,
There's got to be a couple of
yeah,
guys that you
well-
say these guys never buy rounds.
Luke can
Oh, boy.
speak to this one.
Oh boy.
We're not allowed to mention any names, but we'll stay with that one. Right?
Does it say Hilltop
No,
on
no.
the chips?
Yeah,
Yeah.
You
this-
said you can't
See,
mention
that
names unless
sucks
it's Carl.
because when you,
Yeah,
your
right.
wife does your laundry and you forget you got a pocket full of wood and
Right.
you go home, especially after like 7 or 8
Right.
beers, she knows exactly where you're
Oh yeah, yeah. We got to take the Hilltop
Jordan,
off the
Those
chip.
are the ones
you
I
know?
didn't drink, honey.
That's what I say. Like,
Jordan, I'm pretty sure she knows without the chip in the pocket.
so we have a member here who owns a couple of restaurants, and his son and my wife was a preschool teacher for many years, and he went there. And they used to bring a toy in, and he would bring in chips, and he would make like little castles out of them, and the whole place would be like, what are these? Because they're old and the names worn off a lot.
Yeah, right.
And my wife would just laugh. She's like, "Oh crap, they're club chips."
No Legos, club chips.
So you have guys who hoard them, but you figure who that is, and there are guys.
They're
that are
only
very
allowed
generous.
down here.
Yeah.
They're not allowed upstairs or at a function, even
Yeah.
if it's a members function.
Right,
Yeah.
Only here.
right. Because you guys got to regulate that stuff. You got to know what money's going in and
Yeah,
going
yeah,
out. You can't
exactly.
get money there.
Yeah, I mean,
And you also got to remember these clubs aren't high tech accounting systems.
Right.
This is all volunteer, so you get what you get.
Yeah.
And although we recently went to a POS system after begging the club for years,
right.
so that helps. We can track stuff a lot better. But
Right.
we had literally an old cash machine.
I was
Yeah,
going to say, well, so can the IRS,
yeah.
though.
yeah. Exactly.
No, I mean it's all like I said. People talk about our machines, but the state knows we have a license for 8 machines, and we pay for those machines. It's a little tricky how you pay for it, but
Right.
You say machines.
Just machines for.
Just machines?
Just machines.
They're video game machines.
Yeah.
Correct.
But we do pay for them, and we've worked out how to pay for them, and everyone's happy. And as long as you play by the rules, there was a lot of rumor when they were building the Everett casino that just got built Encore. There was all these rumors that he was going to come down and
Crack down.
crack
Season.
down,
Yeah.
and a lot of clubs lost their stuff, but not because of that, because they weren't following the rules.
You find a hot dog in a couple of them because they lost all their money and they jammed a hot dog.
He's not, no, he's not lying.
I'm not.
It's funny because I would think
Feed
if
the machine.
you were like a member that you would take a little more ownership. I was wondering if you had less, shit like that to deal with.
Exactly. So that's the whole point of that. It's, there's rules here. You got to respect. It's your property. We're all owners here, basically. And, you get guys that just, have a hard time with that over there. And, when you work hard for your money and it goes away in about an hour, it's,
Now, do you ever shut anybody off?
oh, yeah.
Not just for drinking, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
from the video machines?
well, they end up shutting themselves off when the ATM doesn't give them any more money. And
You're like this.
not only that,
one machine I put my card in,
that's
I
the
always
only
win.
that's the only machine they seem to get money out of. Too.
I won!
Yeah,
And we make a lot of jokes about the wives and stuff. And the one I'm a member of, this is a men's only club, and it's been that way since the beginning. I think you guys said 85 years. This club's been?
85, I think.
85. So, do you guys get any shit for that? Like, I know there's a lot of things are a lot different now. I get why it's that way. I personally, I know that my wife wants nothing to do with anything like this. So, like, there's no issue with her there and anything like that. But do you guys get any shit? Sort of with not letting women in, is there any sort of legal ramification for that, or is it sort of like a hey, just let them be?
I just tell them to open up their own club. We started this one; they can start their own.
No, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
We don't get like a lot of phone calls, if that's what you mean. Like,
No.
you guys
Yeah,
suck. You don't
right.
let women in. First of all, I always say, any woman that wants to come here can absolutely come here. She just can't be in this
the building.
room.
Yeah.
Right.
You are welcome any other facility that we have.
You are.
Own. And like I said, this summer we're trying to do more public events to get more people down just to enjoy, because it's really a great pavilion out there.
Yeah.
And especially when it's nice weather, it's a full bar. There's bathrooms. It's a great place to just hang out. So they're always welcome. But no, I don't get a lot of crap for it. I mean, once in a while, I told my wife many times, and when she sees too many chips in the washing machine, and I
Yeah,
said,
like you bring those chips home.
yeah.
It's like they should be happy that men have a place to go, because I mean, there's only all dudes down here. It's like
Right.
It's like there's no women that they need to worry about them leaving.
That's a great point. That's a great point.
Lou
It's not
has
like-
been known to put on his wig
I-
and
work
I
his
cross-dressed
feet.
a couple of times.
beat
Pat.
ups. But I often say, the few times I hear it is like, how about we help you set up we'll give you some seed money, set up a club.
Right.
Believe me, this started with probably 4 guys, and not many people listening know
Last
the
about
area,
a
but it
week.
was a little old schoolhouse up by the library.
Yep.
And that's where they lived for years, and it was tiny. And then they built this in 60-something, and I always say, I'll help you start a club.
Yeah,
I'd love for you to
absolutely.
start a club. I'll give you some seed money.
And you guys do like a ladies' night and stuff too,
Well,
right?
how much
like you'll
seed
have it,
money,
like you
huh?
can bring your
I'm
wife in.
interested
on
in this
certain-
proposal. Yeah, I can start a ladies' club.
Existing bars don't count.
We have family day and stuff
Yeah.
like that, where
Yeah, we do a Christmas party every year where the kids get from
Nice
newborn up to, I think, 12 is, and they get a laptop.
Yeah.
Their last time
For
here,
a
they get a
gift.
laptop.
Wow.
So it's we spend thousands of dollars on our members for that. We have family nights outside. We're going to do more of that this year, and so that's part of the reason, because we want younger families down here. That's what it's really all about. Of
course.
This isn't a building. People love to say, "Oh, you're a building full of old guys who drink cheap beer." Like, no, I really want to be. It's about our footprint.
Right.
And that's what I was hoping I could get a little across today too. So
Absolutely. Yeah. So I mean, you see it as soon as you pull into the parking lot. You guys sponsor sports teams, like everyone likes to bust balls. Oh, athletic club. There's no athletes here, but you're sponsoring athletes, and you're a part of your community. and that's
So
awesome.
you're saying losing on athlete? Is that what-
Lou was an athlete.
Yeah. Yeah, right. I'm in good shape for the shape I'm in.
Hey, that's what bartending will do. We talked about that in the last episode too, man. It's,
But it's a great place to watch the games. There's a lot of TVs, as you can see around
yeah,
here.
absolutely.
And, you know,
Big ones.
there's a lot of, you know, watch games, guys. There's big games like tonight, the 2 college games that are on. I'll be very busy, you know, because of that. And the more that happens athletically on TV, the better off we are here.
See,
Because
athletic.
it draws people, you know, for us. And COVID actually made us realize how important that outside really is, you know, because members, they just spend their days down here and stuff, and then they finally got to go outside on a nice, you know, fall evening or summer, spring, and it's beautiful
I
out
think I
there.
spent $10,000 in propane, but that
Yeah.
I
Bug
didn't know
spray.
propane costs that much.
So is that something that, like, going forward in the future, you'll keep that bar open on nights that maybe you normally wouldn't?
Well, we get.
Maybe.
Well, it's funny you say that. It's a big fight now because a lot of guys get out there and like, we want to stay out here. This is our club. I'm like, well, that's also how we make our money, so that your beer is only $2.25, and that's how we donate all this money. So, like I said, that's our main rental. You know, over the summer, that's booked usually every weekend.
Oh, okay.
Friday
Yeah.
through Sunday.
Yeah.
But we're going to save weekends for us, for family nights, bringing down your spouse, your kids. Kenny will cook up whatever he's going to cook, you know. Use it more because they got a taste of it. And it was nice being out there, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
You know, obviously there's no windows down here, so. But that's a big part of another problem you probably come across this in your club is that, you know, there's an old guard that have been here, like, you know, you think Lou's been here a while. This guy's been here for 60 years.
Oh, yeah.
One guy just...
I'm not even near some of
Yeah,
these guys.
One guy he unfortunately just passed on, but he'd been a member here like most of the years.
Yeah.
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 Like
One of
he
the
joined as a
founding
teenager. Him and his
fathers.
father joined as a teenager, and so a battle is always growing, you know, changing, and those old school guys don't want to change. Like, no, this is what we do, and this, you know. So as a BOG member, you serve 3 years and you move on. I've done 2 stints in a row, but in my time, we've worked real hard in
What's BOG? Sorry.
Board of Governors.
Okay.
And so, like I said, you have...
I'm asking for the podcast listener.
Yeah.
not-
Yeah.
Bog, we're in Kingston,
Yeah,
over there.
Yeah.
So, you know, you always try and grow, improve the pavilion. You know, we did restaurant-y things that people didn't like we got a big walk-in cooler for our beer. Like, it was never a walk-in cooler, so everything had to be iced down. It
Yeah.
took like a day. So God forbid Lou didn't time it right. There'd be no cold
Cold beer.
you know,
Yeah.
Right.
They don't
You
want to
get-
change it.
yeah.
They don't want cold beer.
Yeah, we
They
got
don't
new.
want beer,
Yeah, we got new stoves.
Speaking of which, you guys want another one?
I wouldn't say no.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm in. See?
I won't even say what they're drinking.
It's an experienced bartender right there.
But that's always a challenge to keep it growing and keep it new, keep it fresh.
I think he said he can't stand to see an empty beer.
Sorry, Jim. Didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that was it. So that's always the battle: keep it fresh, keep it new. Keep
Yeah.
it, you know, the idea is to rent it, to get people down here, and that's how you get to do what you really want to do.
Right.
Because the fee is like, you know, it's not really a lot of money. So
Right.
Well,
yeah,
so
you
you're
got
not,
members
you're not-
dying off.
you're
you
not
gotta
making
replace
money
it.
off the members.
no. If I break even off the members, then I'm doing good.
So what does it cost to be a member?
Hold on. Let's back this up. How much
Okay.
would you pay?
How much would I pay? So here's an interesting thing. Is I was kind of like, I wouldn't be a member because I don't particularly like the exclusionary type aspect. But then I get down here, I'm like, oh, it's kind of nostalgic. Like, it reminds me of my dad.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't know what it would say. I'd have to have like a conversation with myself.
I pay $175 a year.
175, not 200, not 150. 175.
Are you saying-
And I think
are
it
you
went up
saying-
from 150.
That's what you are paying, or were you saying this is what I would pay?
No, that's what I am.
Okay, 'cause I'm like,
yeah,
that's
that's
a
weird.
yeah, I'm like, that's a weird
Yeah,
dollar
random.
amount to kind of.
I don't know how much it costs here.
Well, we were 75 for years, and now we're 100.
Yeah.
We just went up to 100 to help out
That's
through COVID.
Pretty cheap, I think, for a membership.
Yeah.
And so like if you have the rental upstairs, and the ones that I know of, there's the non-member fee and then a member fee. Like
For drink prices?
no, like if I wanted to rent the hall, say you know my son was getting married, and I want to rent the hall for reception.
Yeah, you get a little discount.
Yeah, you get
know,
like a
You get a
discount.
discount. Yeah.
And just not to mention, just if you're going here instead of like a regular bar or restaurant.
You're gonna
have
save
a couple
$100
drinks.
real fast.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Real
gonna take a
fast.
couple weeks to make your money back. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's and I get
Weeks, come on, Jordan. We can do that in a couple days. You're just not trying anymore.
the group that I'm a part of. They have a couple restaurant members, and I'm like myself, and they'll hire me every other month to bring in some food, so the guys don't have to cook. They don't have their hot dog maker or whatever. So I'll come in, I'll drop some chicken wings. It's like a $400 catering order I get every 2 weeks. So that's it, one catering order. I've already doubled my, return on that, and
Yeah.
I do it 6 times a year. So that's always pretty cool too, and it keeps me involved.
So I think you just informed your club you could drop down your price a little bit. You may want to be careful. Maybe you edit that out.
Let me
That's so to join here
yeah.
costs less than $2 a week.
Right.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And
That's-
all this,
that's-
TVs,
yeah.
somewhere to hang,
Pool tables.
pool tables. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Without having to jam
it's
quarters
nice
into
club,
it.
yeah.
And to join here, you do have to know someone who's a member.
Yeah.
And then they'll bring you down, sponsor you, and then you go through the process we already described. But it's not hard to find someone who's a member here.
But once you're a member, or do you have to renew? Like, by renew, I'm talking about the interview process.
No. Once you're a member, you're a member. Obviously, you got to repay every year. But
Yeah.
no, you're all done.
So if you have, I think you said there's like 400 members,
Yeah, we have a little under 400.
and some you say only come maybe once or twice a year. How do you? Is Lou's memory that good that he just memorizes all 400 members?
One of our fine Kingston policemen just walked in. So. But he's a member. He's not here to do anything. And he doesn't have his taser, I don't think. You have your taser?
Not
Not
This is
today,
what I do.
right.
But so how do you keep track of?
That's a good question. How do you know who's a
is
member?
there like a
who's not?
membership card?
Well,
Is
you
there
just-
like a handshake. Or?
There's a card.
Okay.
You get a membership card. But one of our voluntary positions, which is the worst job to have, is membership secretary. And it's that person's job to basically keep a database of all the members. And it's not easy because there's, a lot of them you never see.
Yeah.
So we mail a lot of cards because, they live in Florida and don't really.
Right.
But
I was just thinking,
yeah,
you look up and someone walks in and you're like,
Oh, there's a.
is this guy a member or is he
Yeah.
not a member?
Yeah, Lou, how do you know?
Yeah.
Well, so there's a little peephole there, so I looked through it to see who it was, and it was Mike. Mike
But
is...
then you gotta like hold
No,
up.
but
your-
if it's a busy night and you got
And you're already at the bar.
5 people that you have no idea who they are because
At my bar?
Yeah, here.
If they're not sitting at my bar, they're not a member, because they're not allowed in here unless they...
No,
are-
but I'm
right,
saying,
right. So
how do you know
you're-
that?
Yeah, you're attending bar.
Yeah.
And I come through the door.
Right.
How do you determine if I'm a member or not?
Because I've been here so long, I know every face that comes in this
All right,
place,
that was
so...
my question. I figured that was gonna be the answer.
I normally say, you're not a member. Then you hope he doesn't go, yeah, I'm ABC.
Yeah, that happens.
Which is
once.
exactly what happened upstairs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
I saw something funny on my way in on the door. Speaking of Mike, who just walked in, I heard him knock. Did you charge him $1?
Yeah, that's, well, Mike, because he can't get in, because I locked the key card thing.
If you forget your, I don't think anyone
Christmas
actually
club.
pays it.
Oh, yeah, there's money in there.
If you forget your card and have to knock and have someone to open the door.
Oh, there's a key card to
Knock-
open the door.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I just showed.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, I got
But you can't get in here 24 hours a day.
No.
You have to
No,
unlock it.
Yeah.
So that.
Yeah, when we leave at night,
It's not all
it
access.
gets locked, so the access key gets,
Years ago, this club
Non-functional.
was 24/7. That we're talking a long time ago,
Yeah.
and it was honor system. Like that would go over well now. But,
Oh, wow.
yeah, so you
That's
can come in anytime
crazy.
you want, but.
Yeah.
No, once it's locked, we changed our hours due to COVID, and we're only open those hours.
What are your hours now?
We're 2 to 10 right now,
2 to 10.
and then 11 to 10 on weekends.
And before COVID, where were you?
We were 9 to whenever the last person left.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Cold Spring, same thing. You can get
Yeah.
in at 8 in the morning with a key
Yeah.
fob, and there's a gym there too. So like you can get in there at like 6 a.m. to use the
There's
gym.
a gym at a bar that seems kind
Dude,
of... I'm sorry,
it's so
Athletic
dangerous.
Association.
Yeah, at the Cold
Yeah.
Springs Athletic Club.
Yeah.
I
I guess it makes sense, but it's just...
Does
They have
anybody-
a gym that guys use at 6 in the morning before they go to work. You know what I mean? But there's no bartender yet. But the bartender would get there at 8. So you go run on the treadmill, take a shower, go upstairs, slam a beer at 8 in the morning. Now it's a little different because of COVID.
Because now it's a little different. You found out what he was doing.
She was just happy I was going to the gym.
We should get a gym, Lou. I could pass. I'm going. Where you going? I'm going to the gym.
We need one.
Came back from the gym. There's all this.
I just throw a
coins in your
mat in the
pocket.
corner. One of those physical education mats, you know what I mean? Just get one donated from school, throw in the corner.
Yeah.
It's a gym.
So you said you sponsor a lot of sports teams for the town and stuff, and that's a big part of what you guys do here. So like, how does how do they go about? Do they just reach out to you, like, you know, the guys at the restaurants here? I was like, everyone is always like knocking us up or knocking on our door for a gift card for this,
Right,
that, the
right.
other thing. Is it one of those things where you're just like,
Yeah.
all right, here's the process, or like, is it just big?
Sometimes you get a letter saying, but most times it's a member or someone the member knows and says, hey, you know, because they're all involved in the sport. So, you know, we'd like you ask the floor. That's not a BO board of governors decision. That's a floor decision. And we had to put limits in because it was getting out of hand. Someone would come in and say,
400 members.
know,
Everyone's got. You know,
I'd like
everyone's got
$1,000
yeah.
for so. No, they'll come in and stand up, and we meet every month as a club, and then they'll say, I'd like to donate this to this cause, and the floor votes. And I literally have never seen the floor say no in my 10, 15 years, whatever I've been here. And it ranges from everything, you know, lacrosse to baseball to, you know, the town. I like doing the town rec sports better.
Yeah.
Little known fact that our club ran the Hilltop Athletic Basketball Club for years. It was the only game in town for basketball. And they've been doing that since the 50s. We recently merged and sort of gave it to a new KYSO basketball organization because we were fighting for coaches, we were fighting for players, and we were fighting for gym time. So it just made no sense. We were making it harder for the kids, you know, so we gave that up, and that's now, we're still a part of it, and we donate to that as well. But that's the kind of thing we like doing.
So funny, while you were asking him that question, how like people, like how do you get to
Did you
youth
just get
sports?
an email?
While he was asking it, someone just reached out to me saying, you have any interest in putting a banner out for a baseball, softball field locally, blah, 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 blah. So funny. But it is, I mean, the opportunities are out there like crazy.
Yeah, the opportunities, but you know, nobody wants it for free. They're not saying, "Hey, put a banner out."
No, right.
We want to just put your name out there, and you know, it's tough now because having a restaurant myself, people come in now, and it's almost an excuse you can use. You say, "Listen, during COVID, there's just no extra cash to go around. I can't sponsor a baseball team or put a sign up here or do an ad in your paper because, you know,
Right.
I'm trying to make my own buck here, and
Right.
it's hard enough to do it without doing all this stuff
It's
in
true.
COVID."
Right now with COVID especially.
Right.
I do like the youth sport thing though, because you get a lot of eyes, and that there's something about sponsoring like a youth sports team as opposed to sponsoring something
You
else
also get
that
the team that then goes like, oh, I play for Speedwell Tavern after
Right.
the game. Let's go to Speedwell Tavern for wings. You know,
Right.
See,
Exactly.
now I've heard the opposite, that, you know, you get the one person in the group that says, I can't believe that a place that sells alcohol is sponsoring young kids.
I think we're past that.
Yeah, I don't know. I
I
don't
don't
know.
feel that
But
anymore.
this is
Do
the
you?
thing. But this is the thing: is how many?
I had a
how many people are on
Budweiser
a-
chair that I brought to a soccer game once.
I can see if it was
and
Coors
people
Light
were
or
jumping
something
all
like
over
that,
me. And you can't bring that to a kid's game.
Right.
We can't put canteen on shirts. That's what they're drinking,
'Cause
by
it's
the way.
seltzer?
They're going to be sending you guys sponsorships soon if we do another one of these podcasts.
I reached out to that other seltzer that shall not be named on the podcast anymore.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. No, they shall not be named on the podcast anymore. We will not promote.
Did they ever get back to you?
Yeah, they did.
And they said straight up no?
Yeah, basically.
Hey, give
So-
me credit for
Wow.
getting back to you.
Yeah, so they
Canteen?
shall not be named. Yeah. So
Canteen, what's
Canteen,
up?
let's talk.
How you doing? What do you mean?
We need a
Austin,
Actually, I
Texas.
already I'm working on a seltzer sponsor for us.
Second one.
No, but close.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey, I like that.
Talk to our people. So
Respect.
we won't be drinking your seltzer anymore.
Yeah, right. I don't care if you drink it. How about paying for it?
I don't understand the question.
What's he mean?
Huh?
What's he mean?
I know. Well, maybe if you charge $2.25 for a beer.
Well, that's a good part about a club like this too. You know, the membership can say, "Hey, we'd love," because we used to do Truly, and then we
Yeah.
moved to, and then which I
they
shouldn't have
shall not be
mentioned.
named.
Sorry, they shall not be named. And then someone said, "Hey, I love these." So we'll alter our inventory on a. It's a little harder for the manager because especially with COVID, we were L Knife's biggest best way to Bud Light and Bud. We were their biggest distributor. Like they sent more here than any of their other clients, which I found hard to believe. I mean, local,
Yeah.
not nationwide.
Nationwide.
Which I found hard to believe. So,
But I feel like a place like this, I would expect to see Bud Light, Bud.
it's a big seller.
Bud Light's the
Light.
king.
Yeah.
And Tito's.
How has things changed over the years? Are you seeing more people come in and be like, "Hey, how come you don't have Stellwagen on tap?" Or like such and such craft beer?
No.
Craft beers
Yeah.
are not.
Well,
Because they got to pay $4 for that.
Yeah, you're right.
Well,
There you go.
that is true. Part of it is the price that our manager will look at the thing and say that I can't put that in there for that. That's not up their alley. That money doesn't fit in their wallet. So you get that.
But if I came in and ordered an apple teeny,
yeah, we had
Yeah.
that.
I was waiting for Lou to be like, "No, get out."
Well,
shop.
the only way I'd kick you out of here if you ordered a blended drink. We don't have a
Same
blender.
Speedwell,
Yeah,
same
yeah,
going out of
yeah.
Euro. Now you got
It's broke. The blender's broke.
Frozen drink
you can get a
maker.
frosty machine over there.
So we can do some frozen drinks for day drinking. That's
Yeah.
what's going on. Yeah.
Are we ready for that yet?
No, like a couple more. Maybe summertime.
Okay,
Yeah.
sounds
We'll
good.
make it a summertime thing. Where we at? Okay, so this is last call.
Okay.
This is where we go around the table and we get to promote whatever we like. We tend to let the guests go last so we don't put them on the spot.
So he
So-
looks right at me.
Yeah, so I'm looking at Jordan. So last call, Jordan, what do you got?
I got nothing. Thank you guys for having us here. This is rad. I love a different perspective, especially nowadays, seeing how everyone's sort of adapted with COVID and stuff. We've tried lately to kind of avoid that as a subject, but when you have it from a different perspective besides just the classic bar and restaurant, I think it's very interesting, very cool. And you would expect, I think, the outside world, people that aren't familiar with these clubs, like that the rules aren't being followed, but I'm seeing it here. You guys have socially distanced, everything's clean, there's markers on the floor, there's signs up everywhere. So it's pretty rad to see that clubs that have maybe a little bit more wiggle room are still following the rules. So nice job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Heine,
Finally, I get to say something on this podcast.
your microphone's been on mute the whole time.
Hello? No, again, thanks for having us down here. It's nice to get a different point of view from different people. Not Jim so much because he's married to my sister, but Lou, with all your years, and I mean all your years that you've been doing this. I'm sure on the next podcast that we have, the next podcast we have, we'll get into some funny stories. But yeah, come on down to downtown Plymouth or Kingston. Of course, you can't get in the men's
I was gonna
club
say, you can't
unless
get
you're a
in.
member. So come on.
Come on down, knock on the door.
Come on down downtown Plymouth. Go to Speedwell. Go to New World Tavern. Have a good time. That's it.
Cool. Jim, what do you got?
Just say thanks for being here, letting us be on the show to give perspective that I think a lot of people don't understand. So I tell people to embrace your local membership club because they're probably doing a lot more for your community than you realize.
Absolutely.
Lou?
Yeah, thanks for having me. I enjoyed this. I have never been involved in anything like this before, and it was a good time. But since it's last call, get the hell out of here.
Perfect.
Lou's at home trying to listen to the podcast
Yeah.
on the rocks in his yard. He's looking on a tablet somewhere. So I just want to plug Bar Talk Day Drinking. New episode is up on YouTube. We're going to be recording more frequently.
Yeah.
That's the plan if our livers can take it. The last one was a lot of fun. It turned into a blurry afternoon. We did rum drinks.
I gotta get a tan. Me and Meg look like the goth kids from South Park.
Yeah, you were a little Slytherin. You know?
Slytherin. Yeah.
Why was there no ice in those drinks? I saw that.
So, thanks for watching, Jim.
I had to do research.
Not a bartender.
Ice?
Actually, it was only
ingredient to
it
every
was-
drink.
I
It
could
was
see. I could see
literally
forgetting
only-
the straw, but the ice. I mean,
getting better.
yeah, all right.
Relax. Next time they're all gonna have ice. Shut the fuck up. Maggie said they were good.
Yeah, she ran behind the bar to try to make a rum run after all 4 of the drinks.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Jimmy. Fuck, that's my closing.
Oh,
Where was I?
That was beautiful. I haven't seen him this rattled in a while.
All right, so that's Bar Talk for the day, whatever we're at. You can email us at bartalk@gmail.com with your questions, complaints, requests for ice.
Hate mail, please.
Hate mail. We love reading hate mail. It's always a good time. Jordan gets his anger out.
I've been very.
We haven't had any
today.
hate mail in a long time.
Nah, I've been pretty even keel lately.
Yeah. Well, we'll get some hate mail and change that for you.
Please.
You can find us on all social medias at Bar Talk Cast. You can find us on YouTube with Bar Talk Day Drinking. And we'll catch everybody next time.
Peace.
Thanks for listening to today's podcast. You can find us on all social medias at Inebriart or on Instagram at Inebriart6. You can email us at inebriart@yahoo.com. And make sure you listen to the other podcasts on the Inebriart Podcast Network, including Bar Talk, Old Colony Cast, Retro Redoctopus, America's Hometown Horror Podcast, and our newest one, Theme Park Legends, a podcast about working at theme parks. What else? And we'll catch you again next time.